ever have one of those ideas that just won't shut up in your head? Mine is this. What the hell is the perfect truck gun? Every time I drive, it hits me. What's sitting behind my seat right now? Is it right? Is it something I could actually fight with, or just something I tell myself looks cool?
Now that's cool. That's real cool. Look at that.
I built a few over the years. Some worked, some didn't survive their first training day. So I'm turning the obsession into a series, in search of the perfect truck gun. No politics, no hype, just me running different guns through the same question. Could this thing actually save your life when the world turns sideways? Now, episode 1 starts with the last gun you'd expect. The Micro Draco. Short, loud, obnoxious. It's like someone made a firearm out of road rage. On paper, it's the worst possible choice. But sometimes paper lies. It's small enough to hide in a backpack, but big enough to set the air on fire. It's heavy for its size, but still light enough to yank from a bag when seconds count. And at 5 to 50 yards, the kind of distances where car doors and bad decisions live, it hits like a freight train. Of course, nothing is simple. Running it under stress feels different. The safety, the side charge, the rock-in magazine, it's not your everyday AR muscle memory. And then there's the question of where to keep it. Locked down in a Vaultek case or right next to you in a bag that you can grab and go. That's what makes this little monster so fascinating, because a truck gun isn't just hardware. It's a reflection of who you are when things go wrong. Do you value convenience, reach, reliability, or do you value raw, unapologetic chaos that still gets the job done? So, could the Micro Draco actually be the ultimate truck gun? Maybe its biggest flaws are the very thing that make it perfect. Let's break it down. Size, blast, practicality, the whole thing, and see if this little fire-breathing AK can earn its place behind the seat. First things first, size.
That's what she said.
That's the Micro Draco superpower. Folded with the SLR stock, it's small. Small enough to live under a seat, inside a backpack, or behind the console where a full-length rifle simply won't fit. This is the real practical bit. In a vehicle, anything long is a liability. You don't want to be wrestling a full carbine around airbags and cup holders. The Draco's footprint lets it be usable where bigger guns are just ornamental.
That's racist.
Because it fits in a backpack, your options change. Slide it into a normal looking backpack with a laptop, charger, a light, and a mag or two, and you don't have to leave your firepower behind when you step out. That's the difference between oh crap and I'm ready. The bag doesn't have to scream tactical. It just has to work. That portability is why I kept pushing this idea. If your truck isn't a secure vault, the ability to bring your kit with you quickly and without looking like roid rage Santa, that matters. You don't want the gun sitting in the backseat while you walk into a restaurant. And speaking of bags, that brings me to the sponsor of today's video, Silent. Look, your phone isn't a phone, it's a tracking device dressed in glass. Government agencies, big tech, data brokers, even the sketchy app you forgot you installed. Everyone is hungry for your digital footprint. They don't ask, they just take. Here's what Silent does. They make Faraday gear that kills the signal, cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, RFID, NFC. No signal means no tracking, no remote access, no breadcrumbs. It's the same tech trusted by special ops when they need to go dark. Except it's in a pack you can actually use every day. Drop your phone, key fob, or anything with the squeaky little radio into a Silent Faraday sleeve, and it goes off the grid. Silent, invisible, untouchable. Silent builds that tech into backpacks and concealed carry slings. So when my Micro Draco is riding in the truck, my data doesn't. If you're carrying a truck gun, privacy isn't optional. It's necessary. Go to silent.com/noir and get 15% off plus free shipping on qualifying orders. That's slnt.com/noir. Protect your rights, secure your data, and stay a step ahead. Now, let's be blunt. Firing a Micro Draco inside a car without mitigation is painful as hell. The concussion is immediate and it's rude. It bangs your teeth, blows your eardrums, and makes your inner ear follow an official complaint. Now, the forward blast mitigator on mine, it isn't magic, but it channels most of the concussion downrange. That doesn't make it pleasant, it just makes it kind of survivable. The difference between my ear exploded and I can still function and clear the scene. That's what kind of this mitigator does. Now, the Micro Draco gives you close-in punch. Think 5 to 50 yards. The messy, chaotic distance where car doors, windows, and short covers exist. That's where people actually get into fights in and around vehicles. At those ranges, 7.62 by 39 out of a short barrel still carries some energy. It punches through glass and sheet metal better than pistol calibers, and often better than chop 5.56 setups. That barrier penetration matters. If someone's behind a car door or taking cover behind light structure, those rounds will get where they need to go. Now the flip. Beyond 100 yards, the Draco becomes a guessing game. Velocity drops, bullets become more affected by drag, and wind and accuracy degrades. So if your environment includes a lot of long-range exposure, farms, wide back roads, open fields, the Draco might become a bit of a compromise and not so much a solution. And yes, the noise itself can be an intimidation factor. Not the primary plan, but perception and reaction are part of the toolbox. Now, people assume it's small equals it's light. This Micro Draco is not light. 37.62 by 39 rounds is a suitcase compared to 30.556 or a box of 9mm. That extra heft matters when you're grabbing the bag with one hand while putting the truck in gear. Two real scenarios where weight bites. First, getting the gun out of wherever you put it under stress. Second, actually manipulating it inside the vehicle. If you're trying to reach back, extracting a heavy gun with one hand while you're still half in the driver's seat, the motion can kind of be clumsy. It's doable with practice and the right grip. I run this beefy Tango down style grip that gives me a lot of leverage, but it's still a factor. Now, 7.62 by 39 has defensive options, hollow points, bonded cores, barrier optimized loads, but availability has ebbed and flowed. 15, 20 years ago, you could find it stacked on pallets. Today, political shifts, import restrictions, and market cycles make it less reliably plentiful everywhere. That said, it's not gone. There's enough variation in defensive loads that ammo availability shouldn't be the automatic deal breaker for most people. But if you're training heavily or live somewhere with supply volatility, it's a factor to consider. The baseline Draco is more affordable than a tricked out AR historically, but not as cheap as it used to be. Popularity and part scarcity have pushed prices up. And important, in stock form, they're limited. The Brutal Blast, basic wood furniture, not much for mounting a light or modern accessories. You can get this platform to a level I like having a blast mitigator. You got an SLR rail, better grip. You can run the optics on this one, the folding SLL stock, but that's money. The more you invest, the more you'll hate losing it in a smash and grab. So you're choosing between a cheap disposable Micro Draco that you won't cry over or an expensive tuned Draco that hurts if it gets stolen. Now, you can make a Draco quieter, but suppression on short barrel 7.62 by 39s is kind of messy. You can add a can, but then you add length, weight, and you change the balance and reliability characteristics. AK platform suppression is a kind of a compromise. You can do it, but you lose what made the Draco attractive in the first place with it. Its tiny footprint. Keep that trade-off front of mind if you decide to go the suppression route. I can't even suppress this one if I wanted to. AKs have a reputation for simplicity and durability. The Micro Draco sits at the odd end of the Draco family. In practice, it's kind of the most, problematic of the Draco variants. With a tuned build, it runs pretty damn good, like this one. Out of the box, some variants can be kind of picky. If you're going to trust this as your truck gun, invest in a quality build and run it until you can predict what it will do in bad weather. Manual of arms is where ideology meets reality. ARs teach small, efficient motions. Mag in, paddle safety off, fire. AKs demand different choreography. Rock the mag, big safety slab, side charge. When your hands are shaking, big movements win, but only if your brain and hands train them together. I'm so used to running an AR that when I was here and I switched targets, I thought my gun jammed, but in reality, I accidentally engaged the safety, which is a thing. It's like, if you're not used to shooting this manual of arms, it may not feel as intuitive as you think it is. So I was here, and I can run the safety on this thing pretty easily, but it actually engaged when it shouldn't have.
I pulled the trigger and nothing happened. And I was like, what the fuck? And I looked, safety was on.
You see what I'm saying? That clip right there is gold because it shows that under stress training, small habit differences make or break your response. If your truck gun is something you only touch once every few months, choose something with muscle memory that matches your primary platform. If you train the Draco until it's reflex, it becomes a reliable gross motor machine. Now, there are two honest schools of thoughts when it comes to storage. School A, lock the vehicle, hide the gun, cross your fingers. Simple, fast, but vulnerable to smash and grab. School B, lock the vehicle, lock the gun, tether it to a hard point, or put it in a quick access type case or safe. That's pretty much what I typically prefer. This is a Vaultek XT. It's small enough to sit and reach, quick enough for one-handed access, and designed to stop smash and grabs. It currently houses my current truck gun, which I will talk about in another video. The problem is my Draco, as it currently sits, doesn't fit cleanly in this case. So I'm kind of shit out of luck, and I'm kind of stuck with option A. Hide it and hope smash and grab doesn't happen. That could be a deal breaker depending on how you feel about theft risk. Remember, nothing is 100% theft proof. The goal is to increase friction so a casual thief can just toddle off with your kit. So, is the Micro Draco the ultimate truck gun? Maybe. For city-dwelling armed citizens who operate mostly inside congested, close-range environments, who train on AK-style platforms, and who value barrier penetration and compactness, it could be perfect. For rural folks, for AR-only muscle memory operators, for anyone who needs reliable suppression and reach out past 100 yards, it's probably not the right pick. And if you plan to suppress, remember, you'll sacrifice compactness and possibly some reliability. That's the trade-off. You can't have all three. This isn't a binary answer though. It's a thought experiment. Could the Micro Draco be the ultimate truck gun? In the right hands with the right build, storage plan, and training, yes. For everyone else, it could be a loud, heavy, beautiful headache. So tell me what you think. Do you think the Micro Draco is the ultimate truck gun? Drop it in the comment section and let's figure this out together. And if you want a deep technical teardown of my build, the rail, the mitigator, the trigger, tell me, and I'll let that, maybe be the next video.